Okay, question 2. A stew recipe calls for 3 and 7,500 pounds of meat. Jack wants to make 5 batches of stew. How many pounds of meat does he need? As I'm reading this problem, I should make sure that I'm circling the numbers that I see in the problem, because that is the first step of reading a word problem, is to circle your numbers. Next thing I need to do is make sure that I underline the question, and the question's asking me how many pounds of meat does he need to make. Now, my only numbers in the word problem are 3 and 7,500ths and 5, and it wants to know how many pounds of meat does he need. So I know I could do two options here. I could add 3 and 7,500ths 5 different times, or I could multiply 3 and 7,500ths times 5. We're going to multiply 3 and 7,500ths times 5, because this week we've been talking about multiplying decimals. I set up my expression, 3 and 7,500ths times 5, 375 pounds times 5 batches. Now I just have a traditional problem to solve. Step 1 is to ignore your decimal. Pretend that it's not there. Doesn't mean that you can forget it. Step 2, I multiply as if these are whole numbers. 5 times 5 is 25. Regroup my 2. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 2 is 37. Regroup my 3. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 3, and I get 18. Now, I know that I have a factor that is a decimal, so I can do two things here. I can understand that, hey, this is a hundredth times a whole number, so my product should be in the hundredths. Or I can look at the decimal point and count the digits behind. 1, 2. Unmove my decimal, 1, 2, and still get 18 and 7,500 pounds of meat.